Day, everybody, and welcome to KUM News Extra. I'm Jason Salas. Thank you so much for watching on KUM TV8 and YouTube. And we have a packed show to get to me tonight. Trust me, my friends, I do not mess around when it comes to talking about this stuff. First, the Guam Museum presents the next Hita Talk, Feel the Music event. Share the love with our good friend Patrick Palomo. Is there anything that is more emblematic, Patrick, of you than sharing the love? You know, you've done this for so many years. You work with younger generations. There's never, you have to kiss the ring, you have to almond me every time like that. You work with people of all ages and all talent levels.
Yes, I have. Overall, the span of my career, I suppose.
And everybody speaks glowingly of you, and they say you're so accommodating, you're so giving of your own talent. You give, you tell your wisdom about being a piano man to other people. A proper musician, right? It's not just piano you play.
Well, I like to come from the context of playing piano, but as far as, being called a musician, that means a lot to me too, because I try and just embrace the entire scope of, my way of looking at music and how I perceive it and how I try to share it and reflect it.
What would you say about the young generation before we get to this event, of musicians? Because you were telling me before we started this segment, you played with Trey Cunningham, Shannon McManus, Mike Hartendorp, young people. People maybe, 20, 25, 30 years your junior. And
yes, and there's also another group that's after them
that's
just as highly evolved and very well informed because, I guess because of information technology. That's one good thing about it when it comes. They don't have to spend countless hours being an insomniac trying to learn their craft when they could just go and Google a site and learn a thing or two and then do it that way instead of doing all this repetitive stuff.
I remember those nights working on scales over and over and over.
Yes.
But it certainly has paid dividends because you can now share your gift with the people of the island. So please tell me all about the Hita event.
Well, this thing just came up not too long ago. I did, KPRG was kind enough to invite our group. We just released an album called Hinengi with some of these artists you were talking about, including Andrew Gumatauto, who's one of the key writers, along with Shannon McManus and her husband John Glaser in this project, Hinengi.
Andrew's scat is unbelievable. when he starts riffing on just jazz stuff and everything like that, he's truly talented.
Yes, you should see his Chamorro lyrical writing. Lyric writing is just so beautiful.
Hopefully when he comes back from grad school, he's going to bless us with his gift.
Yes. So after we did this thing, with their event a couple of weeks ago at the museum, I got a call and asked if I was interested in perhaps speaking more about how Hinengi came around and my approach to, how I, tried to get everybody together and just in general how I compose my music and how I put it out there and stuff. So I guess even being a shy boy from PD, I have to finally just come out now and speak about it and share it because that's how it can pass on to the younger generation. Hopefully I can inspire, younger kids to go. I never really had the time to go to school. But with music, because if it's an art form, you can always teach it to yourself. There were the likes of Carlos Laguardia that went to school at Berkeley School of Music. So they came back and shared what they knew, And
there's quite a few Guamanians who have gone to Berkeley.
A lot. Yes.
Jared Cruz.
Yes, Mike Diamore.
And then correct.
Further on to New England Conservatory of Music, even Larry Franquist went.
And these are top-notch schools. And, we've got local kids going there, and then they all come back, and they want to pass down.
Yes, so my thing is that I try to just embrace all what they do, because whenever I play music with anyone, my approach is to open myself up to that communication on a, perhaps you might call it a metaphysical level, where especially I like the form of jazz because you completely create right on the spot. And so going back to the younger musicians, I'm finding out that they're so highly evolved with that. I couldn't contain my excitement when I found out that Shannon McManus and her husband John Glaser loves Brazilian jazz as passionately as I do, even with the composers and, all that has to do with that music. But then eventually when you put your Chamorro thing to it, it becomes universal. And so basically that's what my music is all about. And, with those styles, jazz, but ultimately as a Chamorro artist, perhaps that's what I might touch on at this thing we're doing tomorrow.
Well, primarily as a musician, but more broadly and maybe even more importantly, as a Guamanian, as a resident of this wonderful
Yes,
island,
as a resident.
is there a message that you wish your music can bring to anyone who hears it, regardless of age?
Yes, you know, I grew up being around some of the best people, the manamko, you know. I didn't hang around people my age as I was growing up. I always gravitated towards my grandmothers or my grandparents, brothers and sisters. And I learned about the art of healing. They always wanted me to massage, so whenever someone wasn't, so I tried to integrate all of that. And I feel like, you know, I'm in a spot where I could put all of that together and make my music reflect that, and hopefully let it come out as beautiful as I know it to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if people would like to, can they attend the event, or can they contribute, can they support?
Yes, well, you know, the event will be at the Guam Museum tomorrow in the Fine Arts Theater they have there. And it'll be from 12 to 2. And I don't know any, you know, Domenica at the museum and Paulina Okada. Mm-hmm. Well, I know her from her maiden name. I forgot what her last name is now, but they're the ones who set it up for me and kind of made a basic thing and try to cheer me on, you know, because I'm very kind of like nervous about these things, but in a way I can't tell. You know, I don't want to stop myself from sharing something good about this.
Okay. Well, is there any cost to attend?
No, it's free.
Absolutely. The two most wonderful words, or three, I was going to say, Patrick Palomo, music, and free. And it's
thanks
always,
so much, Jason.
It's always an honor to have you in the studio and everything. Truly,
I mean, thanks so much for inviting me.
And I know you would downplay
it,
but I would say truly you are a living legend, and you're someone who we truly appreciate having in our community.
Thanks. Well, I hope I can still, you know, be someone to inspire a lot of the younger kids, because we have so much beautiful artists here.
Absolutely.
And I feel we're in a part of the universe or the earth where there's so much to draw from that can make art just flourish.
Well, everybody greatly respects you, so Sijus Masi, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, please stay tuned. We are back after this.
Oh, boom! Wow. Let me ask you a question.